Part 2, talking about the astrology forecast for 2026. This video is going to be about Uranus entering the sign of Gemini, which is a big transit for a number of reasons. But Uranus takes about 80 years to travel around the whole sky, so this happens every 80 years. The US's natal chart has Uranus in Gemini, which is what was occurring in the sky when America was born, like during the American Revolution. The major events tend to occur involving the United States when Uranus is in Gemini. Also, Donald Trump has his native Uranus in Gemini, so he is familiar with this energy. Uranus is the planet of change and also the planet of chaos. And so in being in the sign of Gemini, it's like very erratic. So Uranus in Gemini can be a very erratic energy with a lot of instability, and can leave us feeling kind of ungrounded, which we had a taste for in 2025. Uranus went into Gemini from July till November of 2025 and is going to be re-entering Gemini in the end of April in 2026. So since Uranus has been in Taurus the last like decade-ish, there's been a lot of shifts in Taurus themes, which has to do with wealth and resources in stocks and trade and economy. So we've seen a lot of instability in those areas, but now we're going to start to see shifts and changes in the Gemini areas of life. So a big part of this is education. A big part of this is communication. Technology is a huge one, especially with Pluto going into Aquarius. I think this is absolutely has to do with AI. Gemini also rules daily life and travel and cars. And so I think we're going to have major shifts in the technology of communication, like with Neuralink and things like that. And probably our cars are going to be changing a lot in the way that we travel over the next decade. I think we're going to see major transformations in the education system. The other thing with Uranus in Gemini is this is so fast-paced, right? That's why it's erratic, is it's so fast-paced. And so we got a taste for this in 2025, but it can feel like life is going faster. It can feel like we're just really focused on trying to be more efficient, and it can feel like things are happening very fast. So I think a lot of the changes in technology will have to do with efficiency, creating more efficiency in the way that we travel and the way that we work, in the way that we run our daily life, in the way that we communicate. And luckily, Uranus going into Gemini is going to have positive relations with the other outer planets, with Saturn, with Neptune, with Pluto. And so I feel like there's a really big changes that are taking place, but I don't think that it will be in a massive war because we don't have those conflicting energies. It's like all easeful aspects. The thing to be aware of in terms of the technology changes, which again, in this time frame of World War II, there was very different astrological transits going on that were more harsh. But when Uranus was in Gemini, this was like end of World War II, like atomic bomb. That's the kind of like technologies that were being created. And like the MK Ultra experiments were also around this time. So things having to do with like manipulating the human mind. And so I think there's a connect with Neuralink here, where as long as the intention is good, that we're using technology with the intention of helping people, then I think it can be really helpful, because we have an easeful aspect with Pluto and Aquarius. It's like so much air. It is so much AI energy. It's such fast incoming technology. And I think in 2026, our bodies are really going to start to catch up, where it's like, what, like, this is coming in so fast. How do I align with this new frequency of technology and this new frequency of consciousness? Historically, Uranus being in Gemini has represented time periods for the United States when our institutions were shaped and changed greatly. And so, but because of the positive aspects, I think that this will be challenging, although it will be challenging and like big changes are definitely going to be happening. I think that it will result in positive things. So projected in 2026, as Uranus is entering Gemini, I think we're going to start to feel strong shifts in our consciousness, and we're going to start to be getting more innovative about making big changes in our institutions and in our country. Uranus also is the planet of rebellion and freedom, you know, American Revolution vibes. I think that we're really going to want to start speaking out against the things that are wrong and the things that we're noticing that are wrong in our institutions and in our world, especially with Pluto and Aquarius here, which is very much like power to the people. The thing that we have to watch out for with Uranus and Gemini as well is that Gemini is the duality. And so we might be feeling more of a split in certain ways. We might be feeling a split in the consciousness where some people are very aware and some people are very unaware. It's a big shift in consciousness. So it's like a wake-up call. Uranus in Gemini really feels like a wake-up call. So if Uranus is positive relation to Neptune and Saturn and Aries, I think there's really going to be a spiritual revolution. And because Pluto is in Aquarius and is relating to this, I think it's really going to be about power back to the people. And so I think the higher route for Uranus and Gemini that I'm really like hoping to see is about this like higher consciousness reigning in and us using our voices to speak to it, to speak to the things that are wrong in our institutions, to kind of get woke. Like, I feel like this energy is so woke. I think it's really important in 2026 to have really good daily habits and rituals to stay grounded, but also to recognize that there's going to be a lot of potential for manifestation and creation.